There we go. All right, guys. Welcome to Talkin Tek. This is a few weeks in a row that we're actually on, and we have a guest that showed up. We did have that one that didn't, but today we got Natalie. Natalie, right? She's joining us. Bender fucked off, but he just came back. So, Bender, I think we can get started. Why don't you give us read our warning, and then we'll get started.
All right. Well, the opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Double Action Dive, Charters, Diver and Scuba, Bob Larson Metalworks, Fully Tech Marine, Fully Tech Mechanical, or anybody who may or may not ever employ or fire Bob or myself. The things you're going to hear today,
or Natalie,
yeah. The things you're going to hear today are purely fictitious and purely coincidental. So if you hear any names that sound familiar, it's all fiction and made up, and it's purely a coincidence. You're going to hear some coarse language during the next hour. So if your kids are still up, it's time to put them to bed. Unless, of course, you're in California, in which case you're a shitty parent like me. Anyways, I think we got it just about covered. Bob, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? So I'm drinking right here. This is another local beer. Let's see if I can get it in there. It's from Goose Island here in Chicago, and it is called their Guava Squad. It's a double dry hopped IPA, very tasty. Gonna get a few of these into me, and should be pretty good. How about you?
I am drinking there we go. A Cool Handshake. For fuck's sakes, focus. From Refined Fool Brewing Company in Sarnia, Ontario. So we got water straight out of the chem plants at Nova Chemical. And then they refine that with a bunch of other hops and other bullshit and a little bit of mercury just for a little bit of snap. And it'll get you drunk. And it's just in honor of Bob. He's maybe he's not refined, but he's got the Fool part down. So there's our plug for Refined Fool. We got to keep these little breweries going.
I like that. Natalie, how about you?
I have a Diet Coke.
Well, that's no fun.
Hopefully this is going to change soon as my lovely husband returns from the supermarket with booze because we finished all the booze the other night.
I mean, well, that's understandable. Those things happen, and you just got to make another run. Go get some more.
You just have some, and then it's gone. It's just gone, just like that. I don't know what happened to it.
It happens. It's just the way she goes.
Yeah, so good.
So, I see Terry Corwitz already has a question. He says, what's he drinking? Question is, what is Bob wearing? That's a later segment in the show, Terry. You've been watching the show long enough to know that that's always a surprise for later. So,
well, I can start off with what you can see. So, as many of you know, El Jefe gave me the nickname of the dude, and they bought me the robe, that the dude wears in the movie. So I decided I would wear that tonight,
And you've been known to run charters in that attire, have you not?
Not only run charters, I've been out to dinner. We've went out to dinner wearing just the robe. And Jefe's on there, and he can attest to that because I'm pretty sure he was there. There's that, and it looks like Becky wants to guess what I'm not wearing. All right, Becky. I'm pretty sure you know.
I actually downloaded a new app for my phone because I had a difficult customer in the office this week, and he was asking me a bunch of questions that have really you can't answer, right? You can't answer in an honest opinion. So I downloaded this app for my phone from the Google Play. They got rid of Parler, they got rid of all the good stuff, but I can still get this app. So I guess the question is, will Bob be wearing pants tonight? Cannot predict now. Try it one more time. Outlook not so good.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're all going to find out.
Or not. We don't need to.
What's that?
We don't need to find out. It's okay.
Well, it's just the way it goes sometimes. It is.
So
What have I got myself involved in here?
Hey, we apologize before we went on.
there was a disclaimer. We're covered. So but before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, it's funny. We put a fair bit of energy into trying to book guests, and Natalie was probably one of the easiest guests ever to book. And I could tell we were going to get her hooked to come on the show. When the first question I asked is, "Have you seen the show before?" She said, "No." It's like, yes, she's going to come on, because once they've seen the show, it's like you get blocked on Facebook. They're screening their phone calls. Like, you know, I got to go across the street to the payphone to try to call and book people. So,
am I going to get hate mail from this?
No.
You might.
Yeah, but those people can fuck off.
Yeah.
We hated them first. So
Yeah, we don't like.
So for those of you that have never met or heard of Natalie Gib, there's I heard about Natalie probably the first time in about 2008 when my buddy Terry come back from a week of cave diving down in Mexico. And at the time they'd hired a local guide, and her name was Natalie. Well, at the time was Natalie. Her name now apparently is Super Mini Chomac. And
This is correct.
She took them into some cool spots. The spots that you maybe don't take all the tourists, only the tourists on the level of El Jefe and the T-Man. Since that time, you just slowly built your reputation, you know, and I want to say like 2008, Steve Bogarts was kind of the man down in Florida or down in Mexico. And as he sort of burned out or burned his bridges or fucked off, Natalie's star sort of rose around the world, and now look, she can finally say she's made it because she's on Talkin Tek on Friday night in the middle of the fucking pandemic with nothing better to do. So
You've made it.
I actually have a lot of better things to do, but I'm here.
Sorry to waste your time.
Yeah.
How'd you get into cave diving, Nat?
So I got into cave diving sort of by happenstance. I started diving in 2003 in New York City out of a tech shop called, I'm tired. I started diving out of a tech shop, and they were all in backplates and wings and things, and I had 4 open water dives under my belt. And they were all like crazy Trimix, cool dudes and like cave divers. And they all talked about how they went to Florida and went cave diving and like almost died and things. And I was like, my word, I will never do that. And then I moved to Mexico sort of on a whim to do a coral reef research internship because my background is in chemistry. And I found a chemist who was running something, but in typical Mexican style, the NGO was embezzling money, and she found out and publicized that, and they fired her. So nobody told me, and I arrived in Mexico to do this thing, and there was no thing. So I decided to do like a dive master internship with like 60 dives ever. And I went on a guided cavern tour, which if you don't know anything about caves and cenotes and things is a way that just like a normal diver with no necessarily technical experience can like get in a little line and follow some people through a cavern and check it out. So I did that, and I came out and I said, you know, I'm going to be a cave diver. I want a cave diving shop. I'm going to explore caves. I'm going to teach cave diving. This is clearly what I want to do. I never knew what I wanted to do in life because I'd never done it, and this will be it. And then they all kind of looked at me, all 4'11", and were like, how are you going to pick up the doubles? And I said, I'm going to pick up the doubles. We'll find a way. And so I picked up the doubles, and I went cave diving, and I've been doing it ever since. And so now I'm a cave diver. I explore caves. I have my own cave diving center with my business partner, Vincent Roquette Catala. It's called Under the Jungle. Which way does it go? There we go. Down here in Mexico, and I've done it, and I love it. It's my thing.
Wonderful.
Right on. It's really cool how the one sort of the first taste of cave diving, just a little cavern dive, can hook you, and the next 15 years of your life rolled out, kind of flashed before your eyes. You said, "Here's where I'm going to be. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but this is what we're going to do." And look at where you are. Your own shop, internationally known. You know, kind of you guys have the reputation as the dive center to cave dive out of down in Mexico. Certainly, that's where the cool kids hang out. You know,
It is indeed cool to hang out because I'm really cool.
So you guys are doing exploration? There's still lots of cave to be seen that has never been seen before.
Oh yeah, there is so much cave here. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So to give you like a concept, we have thousands and thousands of kilometers of already mapped passageway that the community has been doing. Cave exploration has been going on here since the 1980s. To put it in perspective, so I had to like write out a bio for something, and I was like, Natalie and Vince have mapped, yeah, but I said, I don't know how much cave we've mapped. So I looked it up, and I started adding all the surveys together, and we mapped around 90 kilometers of passageway.
Holy shit.
That's a lot.
Wow.
And we're not the only explorers down here. A lot of really good explorers. Many are probably much better than I am and Vince are at this. And they're all doing things like this. So if you put that in perspective, there's a huge amount of active exploration that's going on down here. And the area developed like unsustainably rapidly right now, which is really awful. And some of this stuff is getting polluted. But on the flip side, there's like roads going out into the jungle. So as like particularly like the Tulum area is getting just like decimated by development. We're getting roads way back in the jungle. People are finding a lot of caves just like this right now. Like people are running into caves through development and stuff. And so it's sort of a heyday of exploration right now down here. There's a lot of people doing a lot of really cool stuff right now.
What sort of depths are your caves sort of averagely running? Like I know sort of the northern Florida area, there's your deep sections, but it's kind of in that 80 to 120 foot range. Is Mexico kind of sort of flat, or you got some deep stuff, some shallow stuff?
You've got stuff across the board, but primarily our caves here are very shallow. So I would say you've got kind of a couple different general levels. So you would have like really shallow caves, so 5 to 15 feet, and then you have some deeper stuff, a lot of cave passageways, somewhere between 30 and 50. And then you've got a lot of stuff, mainly down by Tulum, that's maybe around 80 to 100 feet in some of the deeper sections. But the way caves formed here, it's also dissolution. And so based on where the sea level was and where the fresh and salt water were mixing, you would get the cave formation along sort of that mixing zone, what we call the Halocline. And so as sea level went up and down historically, you would get different cave formations, like levels. And so sometimes they collapse into each other. So you can have these really intricate multi-level caves. And then there are some deep places. So you've got like the pit, which has like, the 300-foot Wakula room and all of this in it. And I'm personally convinced that there are definitely really deep systems here that we have not found yet, that we just haven't found collapses into. Will we find them? Will they ever be accessible to people? I don't know. We've been finding some deeper stuff in Yucatan over the last 5 years or so. So stuff that is running, let's say, 100 to 150 feet of depth. And then there's huge sinkholes down there that have a different formative process that go down to 250 easy. And they're incredible, but they don't necessarily have the horizontal cave development. So once all of this this lockdown stuff ends, I hope to get back into some of the small towns I've been working in the state of Yucatan as well, and keep looking for these deep cave passageways. I'm obsessed enough about this that I actually got a rebreather and things, which I never thought I would need here. So I'm ready when we can get back. I can't wait.
So which unit are you diving now?
I have a JJ.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot. My decision to get a JJ was based entirely on the fact that one of my friends is a JJ instructor down here, and he's also a person who can service them and an official dealer. And when you live in a remote place, having
Support
somebody
is
who
everything.
can get parts and teach you how to use the thing is really great. And I was going to try a bunch of different rebreathers and make a decision, but I am so busy. Just getting even remotely good on one rebreather is like enough for me. So I'm sticking with that one for a while. I really like it. I'm really happy with it.
Well, you hit on a great, sort of a great reason for why you're on the machine you're on. And I get asked, 4 or 5 times a year from up and coming tech divers or experienced tech divers that are looking at taking a leap into open circuit or into closed circuit. And having done that, 6 or 7 years now ago, seems like it's, but I guess it's a while ago, but it doesn't seem like that long ago. I still don't feel that confident on the machine. But anyways, the advice I kind of give is with a few exceptions, because there's a few machines that, in my opinion, are just complete and total raging pieces of shit. Prism. Other than those and the inspiration, I really say you got to look at the machine that's going to give you the best support. What are your buddies diving? What are the people in your area diving? So if you're diving a machine that uses a proprietary sensor and nobody in your area has cells, then you got to be, stand on your own feet. The guys and girls I dive with aren't necessarily diving the same machines, but I could steal a cell out of Bob's Revo and put it into my Meg and get my dive in. So that's really an important thing. Who's a local instructor is a good thing to think about, but not always the best, because just because an instructor's local doesn't mean they're any good. Sometimes it's worth it to travel, but field serviceability and the ability to get support locally. If I got to mail a machine back to Germany or the UK or something to be repaired, our season here is so short. I just can't afford to have that. So
I want to interrupt here because Hefe brought up a really good point. Can you open a beer with a JJ? Because you can with a Revo. You can open a beer with a Revo.
I mean, if you know what you're doing with enough skill, you can open a beer off of practically any surface, Jeff.
There you go, Hef.
We'll see. So if we live that long and there is a DEMA this year, Bob and I are planning to visit all of the rebreather manufacturers and ask them this very question, because I think it's a very important feature on a rebreather to be able to open a beer easily.
Yeah. We're going to film it. We're going to show it for everybody. I think that's going to be a good idea. We'll show the features of the ease of opening beers with different rebreathers.
I mean, in Mexico, most of the beers just twist off anyways, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, there
it matters to me.
There you go.
Yeah. It's not as big of a consideration as one might think down here.
All right.
So,
you got any other questions, Bender?
So you're doing exploration. You got any cave porn for us? Like some pictures of some cool cave and stuff nobody's seen and big announcements?
I'm a videographer a bit. But I don't have any good videos of the current place we're working on, but I do have GoPro stuff that I can share with you guys if you would like to see it.
Great.
It's pretty cool. I can try to screen share this stuff in a moment. The story behind this place is interesting. Vince and I, in an effort to find places where we're not stepping on other explorers' toes, have been over the past maybe 5 or 6 years ranging farther and farther and farther away from where our shop is, which is between Playa del Carmen and Tulum. And so we started in this area, but we've been going. We did a lot for a while down in Muyil, which is about 45 minutes an hour south. And then everybody started going there and it got very stressful. So we haven't really been around there that much anymore. So we started going into the middle of the peninsula and very southern regions of the peninsula and working in these places. And then COVID happened and a lot of the small towns where we're working shut down. They wouldn't let people in or out, which makes sense if you don't have any medical infrastructure. You just close, you've got farms, you're fine, nobody can do anything to you. So the result is this last year, we haven't really been able to go to the projects that we have going. And lo and behold, about 5 minutes from the shop, we talked to somebody and there was this this cave that somebody we know, Harry Gust, was exploring originally, and he had a falling out with the owners. So we talked to him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, just go. We don't like these people." We were like, "All right." So it's called Manakalam, and we've been working in it like on and off for the last year, and it's definitely going. And who would have thought this was just around the corner? We've been like spending hundreds of dollars a day on boats and traveling and hotels, and like I
That's
can drive
awesome.
in 10 minutes. So I'll show you a few videos of this place so we could talk about them.
Yeah, if you go ahead and share your screen, then I'll put it up. And
Screen there, and then I need application window. I can do this. Here we go. All right, so you can see this.
yep, I'm going to shut down our videos.
Oh, here we go.
No, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, and Natalie and Bender. Okay, now there we go.
All right, so this is just a really short, like 45-second video, but this is Vince in front of me scootering through a passage in Manakbalam. And if you look at it, you see this effect. It's super cool. This is called the Halocline. So what we have here in the area is a freshwater, like shallow layer, and then a saltwater layer below. And so it looks kind of like a thermocline, but it's wild when you go between the two types of water. So you can see like Vince's bubbles coming up through it, and it like just moving over him in these waves as he scooted to the end of line. And it's just was a really impressive thing. And this is just a GoPro. This place is
Looks like he's going through the speed of sound. Like it creates that same ripple effect or
Yeah,
shift in the time continuum, you know.
absolutely. Let's look at the effect just looking through this thing. It's just wild. So that's just like one of the main tunnels that we take towards getting to the end of line. And then I can share, let me see.
all right, you just,
Nope.
I have, let me see, application window.
all right.
And then this is dive here. Let me turn the sound off.
Sharing it right now. There we go. All right.
All right, so this is a dive from like last week that me and one of my instructors, Nick, went on. That's Nick. And here you can see the cave's not that stable. That was some ceiling that was falling on him. And it was really impressive because the GoPro could actually see better than I could. So I just started looking through the GoPro on the way out. But you get like all the percolation, which is rocks and sediment from the ceiling, falls down, and you really can't see too much on the way out. So most of the dive just looked like that thin shot, and so that was exciting. But this place is definitely going. That's a blind fish. It just swam up to me, so I filmed it. It's an indigenous, not indigenous. I'm not endemic species to our area. And the place is really, that's what I have. The place is really wild. It's really unstable. So I was like sneaking through these very like sharp, tight areas, and we had some exciting moments. So Nick is maybe not as an experienced explorer as me and Vince, so he hasn't done as much of these types of places. Vince and I have a long history of crumbly caves. And so I was like, for example, I got to the end of line that Vince finished the other day, and I had two options. I could go up the slope, or I could go down, like try to go around this flap. So I just picked one. So I went up this slope, and you've got the reel in your hand. You know, it's like your back and your stomach. And I'm kind of crawling up the slope, and I get to the top. And it's very shallow. It'd be like 5 feet, and there's just layers and layers and layers of like calcite rafting or calcite sand. And I'm thinking, I really need to find somewhere to tie this reel off, but there's nothing. So I look up above me, and there's a ledge like hanging over. And I'm like, oh, I can just tie off onto this ledge. So I do the like thing I do sometimes where I just like lock through it and like toss it over it because it's thick sediment. I like pull it down to like grab the rock. And when I do this, I slough off all this like 3 feet of calcite sand off of it. It just pours down this slope onto Nick behind me. And I'm like, should probably go check on him. So I like tie it off and I come down and I go and I'm like, hi Nick, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, let's go back the other way. So we go over there and I just decide to like try to sneak through this hole. And I'm going through this hole and I see like a pretty small restriction that's just me size. And as I do this, like these big rocks, like the size of my head, just start crumbling on me. So I had to back out of it and just like basically turned around once I had some space, and I just like ran into Nick's face with my face as he was waiting for me. And so the whole ride out was like that crumbly, nasty stuff. And it's falling on you all the time in these little pieces. And it's like sharp and it sounds like shattered, like breaking glass. And I've never heard anything like it before. It's like,
That's awesome.
the good thing that I did, I had elected to wear my dry suit on this dive.
Smart
so now
move.
I have about 15 pinholes in my dry suit after this. I've been teaching this week. I am just completely soaked, like through like all my underwear, like sports bra, just wet. I am completely wet because I'm just like fizzing inside. So the next day off, I'm just going to aqua seal the entire thing. And I learned a lesson, which is when you go into tight, sharp caves, you should use a wetsuit.
Well, maybe that's a good idea. So, hey, we got a question here from our friend Big T. Apparently,
Hold
he
on,
has a
my
nickname for you.
booze arrived. Wait. And then
Oh, wait. You know what, guys? It sounds like she's going to get some liquor to properly do our show. So, we will give her a moment to get some liquor because it helps. She needs it drinking with us. So,
What's everybody else drinking in the comments section? What are you guys drinking tonight on a Friday evening in COVID hell?
yeah. What are you guys drinking? Come on, somebody tell us. I know Bender, we got 29 people, 30 people actually watching this.
I looked last week's show, we had over 500 views by about Tuesday. So a lot of people
now it's
watching
up to
afterwards.
900. We got people who watch this shit. All right, there you go. What are you drinking, Natalie?
I am drinking Kahlua.
Very nice.
Can you guys get Kahlua? Can you get Kahlua in the States, Bob, in your communist country?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get Bailey's though, right?
We can get that too.
Really?
We can get anything but Lickerman's.
Can you get a pecan tart?
That sounds like something you'd have to go to Boys Town to get. I wouldn't know about that.
Fucking communist shithole. Telling you.
So
Can you get ketchup chips, Bob? Can you get ketchup chips?
yeah, if I cross the border to Canada and bring them back. We don't have ketchup chips there.
They're the best.
They
Best
are.
chip ever.
All right, so Nat, Big T wants to know. He says you have an interesting photographic technique in the cave. Can you share with us how you came across that style? I feel like there's a story here.
I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing with photography, really. I'm a videographer at heart. I like video. I started taking photos as sort of studies of how I could do a better job of lighting my videos. But photos do a lot better on social media and things. Most people don't sit and watch a full video. So I started just lighting photos like I would light a video, which is, I think, a little bit different from what a lot of people do. I don't use strobes. I use video lights. And as I moved forward, I discovered Calden video lights, which have really good color. So now I use really expensive video lights. And I set up lights, but I don't use any onboard lights at all. So I just place lights around the cave, kind of lighting it how I see a cave, and then I put the model in there, and then I take photos of them. So it's a different thing maybe than a lot of people do. I just place lights. I don't have anything on the camera. And it's been possible because I have a really awesome camera which is a Sony A7S. It's like an original Sony Alpha, but the characteristics of these cameras is that they're like kind of the best in low light. So I can shoot insanely high ISOs. If you're into photography or videography, it's not a thing you do. So I've been like sending in photos. Huh?
I think we all know that to be a good photographer, all it takes is a good camera. You know,
helpful.
It's like Becky and Hefe have good cameras. That's how come they can take good photos.
It's really important, yeah. And so this has moved along to the point where I really like this camera, but I do have like really exciting news, which is I was obsessed with the idea that Sony would release like a new version of the camera that I have, because mine, like the dials don't even work. So I have to like set the settings and then prove that I'm committed, because once you get underwater, like you can't change anything, which is actually really helpful in a way for learning.
Sorry, Beth.
But then
I got to interrupt this one. So if it's not the camera, it's the photographer, then why aren't you just like buy a GoPro back and like
prove it?
Yeah.
See, I mean, my GoPro shot was pretty good.
Yeah, that was some pretty sexy GoPro footage we saw today on Talkin Tek.
GoPro, right?
Yeah.
There's something behind this. So anyways, then I was obsessed with this camera that wasn't released, was never going to happen, people said. And it came out this summer, which is like my dream camera. And then I saw the price tag and I was like, oh. No, we'll just keep shooting my 10-year-old camera for a while. But I actually got sponsored, so I now flew to Florida last week and picked up my dream camera with like all my dream accessories, and it's sitting over here. And I'm teaching this week, so I haven't shot it yet. But I'm really excited to see what happens. I think it's going to be like a level up.
I like it.
It can do things that I wanted to be able to do that my camera cannot. Like focus. I can manually focus now. That's kind of cool.
Focus is always a good thing.
It's like hitting autofocus and it's like, and I'm like, come on. So now I can just like focus. It's going to be great.
So, Bender, you gave me an idea here. You know, you said maybe we should get Becky to shoot with a GoPro. Becky says GoPros hate her, so you know what? You don't have to shoot with a GoPro. But why don't we issue a challenge out to all these photographers? You know, Hefe, Becky, Pete, Jill, everybody who watches our show, Natalie. Why don't they all go pick up a Sea Life camera and go shoot with one of those and prove to us that it's the photographer and not the camera?
I could see a challenge coming up. It would be the Talkin Tek Money Where Your Mouth Is Sea Life challenge, or like the $200 camera challenge. You got to take a $200 camera, and whoever shoots the best shot, budget can be blown. You can spend $100,000 on lights if you want, but $200 camera, put up or shut up. I think we'll work on this over the next week or so.
Fund the lighting?
What's that?
Anybody wants to fund the lighting, I'm down.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a sucker for lighting.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're on to something here. Mike Peterson will supply the cameras. So Mike at Dive Right In Scuba has offered to supply the cameras for you guys. So Becky, Hefe, Pete, Natalie, we're going to put a challenge out there and see how this goes.
Okay, send it down to Mexico. I think Becky just asked if I got the.
There's the answer too. Grand prize. Go back.
Oh wait,
Aaron Spears had a great.
First, she started with a Sea Life camera. Then you're gonna have to prove it, and I think the prize needs to be a bottle of Lickerman's. I think we're on to something here.
Yep, I'm writing it down.
I think we are on to something.
To answer Becky's question, I got a A7S3 with a WACP port in a naughty cam housing.
There you go.
Yeah, which is actually better for what I want to do because I use such low light that you could shoot it like 20,000 ISO and it's clear. I tried it in the hotel room when I picked it up. It's pretty fucking amazing.
There we go. So you're shooting the A7? Sounds like a nice camera.
Alpha 7S3. That's it.
Oh wait, did you get the Sony A1, Natalie? Wait, I think we just covered that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right. Hey, Bender, you think it's time for some 20 questions?
Yeah, I think we can. We're moving right along. You know, the beer is flowing. We're under the second beer. I've switched over to Stone Picker right there out of Forest, Ontario. So we've gone from getting we've stepped away from mercury poisoning. We're back on the fetal alcohol syndrome. So Natalie, since you haven't seen the show, you have no idea what you're in for. Talkin Tek 20 questions. It evolves a little bit, but it's sort of the core questions are all the same. So every guest we have on, we ask them these questions, and the rules are you have to answer. So here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Gas or diesel?
Oh, if I could, diesel, but I can't.
Open circuit or closed?
For here, open circuit.
Salt or
For
fresh?
now. Fresh.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Back mount or side mount?
Side mount. Unless it's a rebreather.
Better captain, Captain Picard or Captain Kirk?
Picard, come on.
I'm with you, and shut up, Bender. Nobody wants to hear your story.
In case anybody was wondering, I don't think anybody's heard this before. It's just kind of a little important thing. Captain Kirk, fucking Canadian. He's in the Order of Canada. All right.
Okay, but Picard, come on.
I'm with you.
He's got the accent. That's if I was a gay dude, I'd be into Picard too, Bob. So anyway, dogs or cats?
What's that?
Dogs or cats?
Dogs, but I still like cats.
Favorite Great Lake? Have you ever dove Great Lakes?
Yes.
I have dove in Tobermory, so I don't have a favorite Great Lake because I've seen one. Somebody's gonna have to change that for me.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Computer or tables?
Computer. Screw it.
And now time for the most controversial question on the list.
Oh, here we go.
Better photographer, Hefe or Beck?
Or who? Or Becky?
Yeah.
Becky.
And they're both watching tonight.
They're both watching.
Yeah. Somebody's going to be smashing a computer monitor here in like 20 seconds.
Becky's my sister. I have to stand up for Becky. Becky.
So Hefe, she just told you to go fuck yourself, basically.
Hefe can take it. Yeah.
That's going to go cry in the corner now and sulk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rex or Caves? We know the answer to this one. Sausage or tacos?
Tacos.
Johnny Cash or Elton John?
Johnny Cash.
Top or bottom?
Top.
Power or sail?
Is this as in a boat?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, is none of the above because I get seasick? Is that okay?
No waves and caves.
Can you get back to shore faster and power so I'm not vomiting on your gear?
All right.
GUE or TDI?
Well, I'm a TDI instructor, so I have to say TDI.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
And the last one is rust or wood?
What does that mean? Like types of boats?
Like if you're a wreck diver, rust or wood?
Limestone.
All right, well, we tried.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't as I think Pete Measley's done Talkin Tek 20 questions 3 times. The answers them different every single time. Except for the beer wine one. He always gets that one right. So.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. He stayed with me, so I know the answer is wine.
Yes, we
Even at 9 in the morning.
So, Bender, should we do a shot?
Yeah, it's time.
Natalie, this time of the show, we pause and we all take a shot of whiskey. So
I don't have whiskey, but I asked my husband to bring down more Kahlua for me.
So there you go. So
it's on. Finish this.
Well, there you go. Let me go grab my whiskey. It's right behind me.
Rolling for a treat, everybody.
We are drinking the Lickermans. So we are drinking the Lickerman's Old Dirty Canadian Whiskey. They're our unofficial sponsor of the show. And Bender, you see that? It's all that's left. We're either going to have to quit the show or get some over here.
I sent them another email. I'm working on it. We're going to get creative here this week. I want to talk a little bit about the Lickerman. So, of course, the Lickerman are Ricky, Bubbles, and Julian. And if any of you guys are familiar with the Highwaymen, just imagine the Highwaymen after they all got arrested for impaired. Now they just live in a trailer park in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So,
cheers, guys.
Cheers.
It's an old dirty whiskey.
it stays with you, you know.
It does. It does.
It's kind of like cough medicine.
What's that? I feel like, wow, there's a lot of comments when I got up and walked away. I don't understand what all that's about, but, you know, just
I clearly have forgotten to wear my Mexico bra, but next time, okay?
We'll have to have you back on the show.
Yeah, all right, we'll get you back on. There you go. All right, so what do you want to talk about next there, Bender?
Do we got anything from Scuba Board? You know, we haven't had what is it? Bill Murray, Steve Murray, Trevor, Corey Murray.
I believe it was Pete Murray.
Okay.
You know, he pissed me off pretty well last week. You know, again, I don't really want to talk about any details because I don't know what they are. There was an accident in a cave. And before the guy was even pulled out of the cave, this guy started spreading misinformation about what the guy was diving and what he was doing. And I just scrolled to the last page of the post on this, and he's still talking about pressuring people to get the information. Well, he's spreading wrong information. And they hadn't even recovered the guy yet, and he's making things up. So, I don't know. Scuba Board just pissed me off too much this week to really look into it. So he can just fuck off, because for the people who are involved in an accident, they don't need bullshit like this. That's the last thing you need to deal with. So fuck that guy. And hey, Pete Murray, the owner of Scuba Board, you are welcome to come on our show and explain yourself. We would love to fucking hear that. Yeah, I think that would be great. Don't you?
Did he have any information that other people didn't have already?
He thought he did, but then people that were involved directly sort of contradicted that. But they didn't go on the Scuba Board to contradict it because they got better things to do. People, you know, boots on the ground in the area where the accident happened, you know, give a little bit of information. So when I heard about it, I reached out to a couple people locally, and not so much because I'm nosy, but because I have friends in the area and I wanted to make sure that my buddies are okay. There was an accident on the Doria a few years ago, and I had a friend that was out on the Doria, actually was on that trip, and it was a pretty nervous better part of a day waiting for him to just reply to his text messages. You know, we were worried that, there's 12 people on that boat, and one of them was our guy. So that was sort of me reaching out, trying to find out what's, who it was and make sure it's not one of my friends. It's kind of a terrible thing to think is, there's been a fatality, and I just hope it's not one of my friends. Well, it was somebody's friends. So that's sort of a slimy thing to say, but I think we all sort of feel that way sometimes. But we got a few details, certainly confirmable details, that's totally contradicted the information on Scuba Board. I refrained from posting on there because I'm too busy posting on political stuff on Facebook to deal with Scuba Board stuff. But it was just slimy, just disgusting. This guy's trying to be. I think every local diver or every area's got the expert or the guy that says, guy or girl that thinks they're the expert, and they'll report unconfirmed information, half the story, get half of it wrong, and it's just slimy. So I fucking don't have time for that shit. So, Bob, you got to go pants shopping this weekend, apparently.
Yeah,
you can get out of the house.
That's what Half-Face wanting LaToya to take me out shopping for pants, but that doesn't sound like fun. I don't see what the problem is here. I mean, we're all under quarantine, right? What do we need pants for?
Yes, Terry, it's the chairman.
Oh,
Bill Murray or Bob Murray, Joe Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is Pete Murray. He's also known as the chairman. Guys, get on there. I don't have the patience to go on there and actually comment anything. Maybe some of you guys do. Get on there and call this guy off and let's get him on our fucking show and have him explain himself.
So, Natalie, what does the future hold for Under the Jungle? We go back to 2008. You're the Super Mini Chomac, the little cave guide that's just unknown and doing amazing things. And what is it? 12 years later, you're this big shop owner just making dive shop money hand over fist.
Oh yeah, man! I was
so where does the empire go from here?
It's been an interesting process having a dive shop. Teaching your own courses that you like, and then trying to collaborate with like a group of people is definitely a different thing. But I would say from the dive shop standpoint, just continue to sort of get our programs in place really nicely. And then just keep mentoring my employees as explorers and do like good projects. We try to do a lot of science stuff now as well. So I'm working with some hydrogeologists, and a friend of mine down here, Tamara, is starting a really interesting study of fossilized corals. So I hope to keep doing that. But for me personally, I mean, I'm really into exploration, but I also want to keep playing with photography and videography. And so I'd like to keep maybe do some kind of more serious documentaries and things like that with my new camera, and see how that goes. And also just continue to be involved with conservation and mentoring of the people here. Right now, though, short term, I just want to survive, man. I'm pretty impressed that my 4-year-old dive shop is still here after COVID. If we make it to the next year, I think we will. I mean, that's it. Survive. I think the next big thing is just to survive until the world hopefully gets back somewhat to normal. All big plans I had have been put aside for the moment, and we're just going to try to squeak by to 2022.
That's all we got to do. Hopefully this improves.
Get to 2022 and reassess, man, just like everybody else.
So Becky says that you introduced her to side mount, and you've loved watching her journey. She's following her passions. That's a good example in so many ways. And then you came on our show.
You. I love Becky. Becky's amazing. Becky and Jill are out there all the time, and I'm like, wow. They're so amazing.
All right, so I take it you dive side mount. You do.
I do. These days, I primarily dive side mount. Yeah.
So we have a big. I don't know. It's not really a debate because we all agree, but we'd like to hear your opinion on side mount off of a boat.
Oh man, it fucking sucks. Are you kidding me? It's the worst thing ever.
Best fucking answer. Best answer yet.
Perfect.
If
Oh my God.
on a boat, there best be like a reason I need to take all of my tanks off underwater, and it's not going to be possible with back-mounted doubles because I can get my back-mounted doubles off to go through restriction underwater. I have done this. Oh my God, I've done some boat dives and side mount, dude. You have like your back mount stuff, and it's just all together, and it's there. You side mount stuff, like getting on your harness, like this tank's rolling over there, and you're trying to like wobble off the boat. It's awful. Everything has its place, and
People, will you please listen to her?
even in my courses, I'm like, I have like the whole like final side mount day is like the pros and cons of side mount, and it basically gets to boats, and I'm like, I mean, I guess if you want, but the captains are going to be annoyed, and your stuff's going to be everywhere. Don't you? Like, you don't need to walk on it. What are you looking at? You're looking down. You're in the ocean. You're looking down. You don't need to look up. Just like roll off the thing with some big ass steel tanks and go do a long dive. I don't know. I got a back mount rebreather for the same reason. Side mount is a tool to do tight things and caves because I'm 4'11" and I can't look up otherwise. That's why I like side mount.
You're basically a midget, right?
Yeah, I actually apparently I could apply for disability in the States if I really wanted to. Here I'm a normal height.
I mean, that's wonderful. We love midgets here. We think they're great.
I mean, me and T had a big joke the first time because they were like, "You're so small," and like Terry's enormous, and they had these huge can lights. And so by the end of it, I was just running around holding their can lights with my little hands. They'd be like, "Do my hands make your canisters look long?"
T, that's why.
Midgets are good. They have their benefits.
T, big T, that's why you like her, because she makes your canister look long. So there you go.
Really big. It's these tiny little hands.
Yeah. It's perfect.
He doesn't have a big canister these days, though.
So,
the technology's caught up. Yeah.
His canister's pretty tiny now.
It happens as you get older, you know.
He's older. Yeah, we were all a lot younger then.
Yeah. So speaking of the height thing, Spanky likes people that make him feel tall. Spanky, everybody makes you look fucking short. Okay. So,
yeah. Spanky. By the way, Spanky is Guinness is coming out to measure him as soon as COVID is over, and I think he's gonna get the record as the world's tallest midget. So we're all pulling for you, Spanky.
There you go, Spank. There we go. What else? What else we got there, Bender?
Well, it's Friday. We're on schedule here. Like this thing's just ticking along. An hour has just flown by. We were on time.
Kind of like we've always planned, but never happens.
Yeah, I had guests lined up two weeks ahead, and I'm out. I've filled my quota, so we have no idea who's coming on next week. So next week will be a shit show. But
wait, you know what? Before we go any further, we got a question from a guy, Robert Anderson. I think he might need to fuck off because this sounds ridiculous. Let's know if he can put a manifold on his side, or should he ask Scuba Board?
Ooh, okay. So what you should do is get I really shouldn't talk shit. Is get a UTDZ system.
Oh, I love that.
On your back.
Between two sides. And you can move it from, somewhat accessible, like above your head here, to like completely inaccessible under your wing, down your back, where you need yoga to reach it. And you can do this with side mount tanks and connect it via low pressure hoses, a whole bunch of them that are a huge amount of O-rings in an inaccessible location that you can't see. And then you can manifold your side mount tanks. It's really cool.
I think, Robert, here you go. You just got your answer. Go buy a UTD setup and fuck off with that thing. Don't come on the boat.
I almost got kicked out of fucking demo over that UTD thing. It was awesome. I'm trying to find the picture because it's absolutely epic. That UTD side mount fucking clusterfuck with the big
it's called
the saddle horn thing. Like,
so I know Dima's a long way off. I know Dima's a long ways away, but I feel that we should start a pool for how long before you and I are kicked out of that show.
Of Dima.
Yeah, we'll get kicked out of there within, I would say, the first, 4 or 5 hours?
Oh, anyways.
Dima is the worst thing I have ever attended in my entire life.
Oh, it's a shit show, but, you see a lot of your friends there, so.
It was so horrible. Everybody was getting in fights with each other. I keep trying to explain to Dima what people like with what is Dima. I'm like, it's like going to prom just so you can show up to see like who's friends with who and who's sleeping with who. And there's like invariably fights. Like everybody I was with got in a screaming match with somebody on the floor except for me the whole time. And it was so stressful. I got so drunk that by the time I got back to the Cancun airport at noon on Monday, I got to my truck and I was like, I am too drunk still to drive. And I had to sleep in my truck for 12 hours in the Cancun airport. That was my impression of Dima.
So you're saying it was the best Dima ever, right? Like that's why I go to Dima.
Pretty good.
Is to talk shit and call people out because you know they're going to be there. Like the fucking chairman, Scuba Board has a booth at Dima. We're fucking going. If he doesn't show up on the show, chairman, if you don't.
It didn't all have to be mean. It was also mean and
You're just going with you went in with the wrong impression, and now that you know what you're going for, it's like I got a score to settle. I want to argue about this pressure gauge that didn't get warranted by Cressy Sub. It's just I'm gonna spend $900 to fly to Las Vegas to argue with someone about.
Like a Chinese company had showed up and had like blatant knockoffs of like 6 or 7 different booths, original like patented products, and everybody was like screaming at them and they were like screaming back, and it was just drama. And then there's these people at the shows that have like these electrical pads. You see these people, like these little like tiny, like they're trying to be like helpful because like you're sore from standing up all day, and they go around, they put like these little shock pads on your neck.
Yeah, what the fuck is with that?
What the fuck? They were like, "Where's what is Natalie? You're gonna love it." I'm like, I am not gonna love this. Get away from me. Electrical clocks are not relaxing. I don't know where you were from, but this is not cool. The whiskey under the desk is relaxing. The electrical pads are not.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
That's why you're gonna have to come with us, because we're gonna be carrying around a cooler full of beer, and we'll be on the liquor the whole time and filming it.
It was so traumatic.
That's wonderful. Sounds like a great show.
It's like a little slice of heaven.
Unlike you guys, I don't get off of dive industry drama. I don't like it. I just want to like float along and explore caves. So it was stressful.
Well, we got a long off season here, so we got to find something to do.
Oh, I can't wait. They got to get this border open. They got to get the show going. Oh.
So, all right, guys. On Fridays, I think as everybody who views our show knows, this is Fuck Off Friday. Bender, who can fuck off this week?
Oh man, where do I start? We were talking about this before the show, and it's like the Grammy Awards. Oh, it's just an honor to be nominated, but there's so many. I don't like picking on the same guy over and over again, so I'm going to give our prime minister a pass, even though he's a complete and utter fuck stain. But I'm just going to call out Joe Public Canadian this week, because you guys are so fucking busy ratting on your neighbors and worried about yourself. You're not willing to stick up for your neighbors, and there's some stuff being pushed down the pipeline right now as far as quarantining and we're so detaining people who test positive for COVID. So things are shifting now from where you'll be forced to isolate to where you will be detained and put in an isolation facility that is government run, that is managed by armed private security firms. It really starts to sound a lot like a jail, but it's not a jail because that's a bad word. That's a negative word. And a lot of Canadians are okay with this. So obviously we got to be careful. We got to do what we can to limit the spread and control this, because I want this over as soon as everybody. But, when you let your neighbor's house burn down and go, wow, I'm glad it wasn't mine, fuck him. No one's going to be there to care when yours burns down. And I just say, we got to look out for our neighbors. We got to all stick it. If we're all in this together, we all got to stick up for each other and stop ratting on each other and stop pissing and moaning. And I know it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are. We're all Canadians and we're all people and we're all citizens of this earth. And Jesus Christ, people, come together. Stop. If we live in a world now where if we disagree on one item, the littlest political thing, we don't care if one lives or dies. And this is really a shame. And if you feel that way, there's people I disagree with fundamentally on so many things, but I don't wish any harm to come to them. I wish they could fuck off, but that's not harmful. Fucking off really isn't that hard. It's actually enjoyable sometimes. But yeah, if you're gonna rat on your neighbor and you're not gonna stick up for your neighbor, you get to fuck off.
There we go.
Bob.
You know what?
Who wants to go next?
Well, I'm gonna follow up with kind of what you said, but I'm definitely, after what I heard today, one of my Canadian friends called me, gave me the news. Apparently, I won't be able to come up to Canada till at least May. Right now, it sounds like April 31st. They got this quarantine bullshit. Trudeau, you can fuck right off. We want to come to Canada and visit our friends. I'm not spending $2,000 for a hotel room to quarantine. Fuck off. So I'm putting that out there. How about you, Natalie? Who can fuck off?
Oh, no.
Yep, you're on the spot. You gotta make a choice.
I have to. All right. I'm not going to say names, but there's a local GUE instructor down here who's running around talking to shit about everybody who is not GUE. And he actually took my former cave student cave rebreather diving before she has a cave rebreather certification, which is pretty fucking hypocritical. So he can fuck right off.
There you go. You can mention names here because we had a disclaimer.
It's really fictitious, yeah.
Yeah, we have a disclaimer. They're all fictitious. I'm just saying.
Not gonna do it.
Hey, look at this comment we just got here. Fraser, how screwed up is this country that Talkin Tek is the most sensible thing around? See that? I mean, it's
Also,
true.
I'm a little upset at Trudeau because I just had like 4 cancellations today. So, but that's my selfish side.
Oh, I'm selfish about it. I want to go see my friends. I want to go.
They're like, we're so sorry. We can't leave. And I was like, I'm sorry too. Yes, you can reschedule. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything else to add, Bender?
Sorry, I was just busy Googling Mexico GUE instructor. So I've got it narrowed down to at least 2. So.
I don't know the actual problem with GUE, but I do feel like if you're running around being real fundamentalist, you better put your fucking money where your mouth is. So you can't be like, ew, solo diving, and then go solo diving when nobody finds out. You can't be like, ew, we follow the rules, and then just like blatantly take my friend, completely breaking all the rules of the training I've ever taught her. Like, this is crap. Like, just follow your own rules or don't be part of your organization.
See, this is my favorite part about the show is we get a couple drinks into a few people and they just start singing like a bird. You get a dive celebrity. You pour 2 bottles of wine into Pete Measley and he tells you stories about people just glorious. Just good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write a book someday.
Delete that one. We had to delete that episode. So that one there, guys, if you happen to watch it, you got some really top-notch programming there. But,
I think Stratus is writing a new book. It's not called Close Calls, but it's called like Talking Shit. And it basically calls out every shit-stained hypocritical diver in the community. It's just gorgeous.
It's
Love it. Dan writes on the cover. Like, it's just awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So, hey, Big T, I'll take that letter if it'll work. I'll I'll be up to visit you soon if you can get me across the fucking border. So,
all right, everybody. So,
boat across the border? Or like, what are they doing for like delays?
what's that?
You can't boat across the border, can you?
No,
you
no,
gotta
that's
check the customs.
yeah.
Well, no, but like, I mean, could you like go up close to shore and then just like scoot on over on a river?
Look, we're not in Mexico sneaking across the border into the U.S. You know,
I mean, it's a thing we do.
I know.
I think that's how Steve Lewis got into Florida, got down to Florida the last time he was teaching, but that's a whole other story for another episode.
I've definitely accidentally been in Belize in a cave, like underground from Mexico.
Well, that's just kind of cool.
That's pretty tech.
That's
Yeah, you could. These things are possible. You can do this.
nice. Nice. So, Bender, I think we had a great show. How about you?
Yeah, not a bad show. We certainly need some help from everybody that all three of us that watch. You know, we got to think of some new exciting guests. You know, we'll probably get Pete back on in a couple of weeks. We're working on a couple others. One guy literally sold his business, quit his job, and changed his phone number to avoid coming on the show. So like we're working hard to get that guy on. We'll track him down. So I got like Casey McKinley and the entire GUE, like the entire GUE media department tracking this guy down for us. So if we get him on, it'll be epic.
It sounds like Spanky wants us to get Dave, and I can only assume that means Dave Sutton. I think that would be a great guess.
He's blocked both me and Bob on Facebook, so we have no way of messaging him. And
yeah, he won't talk to us. But
I think he's still on house arrest too. So,
but Terry thinks we should get Doppler.
I think Terry should fuck off. You know,
look at that.
Takes a lot of balls to fuck off, but
you can't tell the T-Man to fuck off. He's
well,
the
one.
What are you talking about? You can tell Terry to fuck off. You tell Terry to fuck off all the time.
Yeah, you can't do that. He sits on the council. He's the man.
Terry, fuck off.
Do you know what the council, Natalie? Do you know what the council does? TK could tell us what the council does.
What does the council do?
TK, come on. Type in and give us an answer on what the council does. I'll be sure to put it up here. We'll give him a moment. I don't know. You can read the fucking messages, fucktards. We're not reading all of them, Terry. Fuck off.
So the council, they gather all the facts and they render their decisions.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's the way it
heavy
goes.
Stuff.
That's the way it goes.
Who's on the council? Terry's on the council?
Terry's on the council. TK's on the council.
How did Terry get on the council?
Because he's the T-Man.
He's the man.
There's TK. Oh, guys, this has been a fun show. If you can think of someone that comes on, hopefully someone that hasn't seen the show, so we'll get them to show up.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, hopefully we're back with you next week. If not, it'll be the following. But I think we can get something put together for next week. We'll be back. And Natalie, thanks for joining us. But don't disconnect. Hang on, because we have a little after show party here in a moment. Okay?
And everybody in Canada, I've got I want to say we have about 6 extra copies of Stratus Costs Close Calls on the way. The rest are all spoken for. If you want a copy, let me know. We've done a bulk buy. The price is as reasonable because we combine the shipping. We're really trying to get the book out there. I think Bob might be working on something to get a handful of books into the U.S. Natalie Gibb's got a story in there, so you know maybe you didn't like all the people he talked about in the show last week, but Natalie's got an exciting tale to tell, and you got to buy the book to find out. So
yeah, I was a total idiot. Hear about the stupid thing I did.
It was that time she came on this show.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a week. You can all fuck right off.